开始了。
开始了。
Hello everyone, my name is Tony. I'm a student from AOC 105 and I'm here to talk about my tweets and what I learned from the sessions with all of you. And here we go. My intention of my tweets are mainly about globalization and digitalization. One example is the Donald Trump one, which is about the trade war between US and China. As the president of US, Trump requires smart strategies and absolute decisions in order to make America great again, thus he can win people's hearts and have more possibilities of being elected in the coming election. So why is US afraid of the development of China? The reason is the plan of the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a commercial strategy to expand to other countries in order to create more benefits and prestige for China. Another threat is the plan of Made in China 2025, which is the primary commercial goal of China for years to make almost everything become made in China. And in this way, the definition of globalization plan of China will be known by the whole world. If this happens, the current position of US will be challenged and the value of US dollars might be put in risks in an embarrassing condition. Globalization is important to every country around the globe. There are many dimensions that requires globalization, thus the real value of those elements will get an enlargement as a result to every corner of the world, and so the status and the prestige of the country will be improved and rise like rockets, which is a positive result that every status leader expected to see. The power of globalization from China is powerful. Due to a reporter from US, she wants to make a research of how important is made in China to the US people, and she tried her best to avoid everything which is made in China to live as usual with her family, but in a time shorter than 3 months. She felt that they can't afford the life without made in China anymore because of the popularity of different goods from China and its wonderful price, which is acceptable for most of the Americans. The goods which are made in US or other countries are only acceptable by a small group of wealthy people in US. The life without Chinese goods are terrible for simple Americans who only have average salaries every month, such as white-collar workers and basic staffs in the society. They need lower prices, and that's why most of them chose Walmart and Chinese goods, which are the most acceptable goods for them to survive from the pressure in the society. When Trump realized the power of made in China, it's already too late because of the early overall plan of globalization by Chinese government was already established many years before the conflict between US and China. The result of the success of Belt and Road will be a total expansion of China, and in that way, it will be a total success on globalization of China, which might become the second Soviet Union, but this time is unbreakable, and that will be a serious problem for US to face. On the other hand, a good example of the success of globalization of China is the enormous amount of Chinatown in different countries around the globe. When Chinese tourists visit other countries, they can always find Chinatown in big cities, and that's a result of the convergence of both Chinese culture and civilization. Because of the history of more than 5,000 years, the civilization of China is admired by many foreign countries, and then comes the projects of Chinatown, a definition of the perfect mixture of Chinese culture and foreign landscape, which constituted an outstanding convergence of both Eastern and Western culture. Another dimension which is hot discussed is the power of digitalization. The new generation of mankind is mainly rely on the power of our great technology and the one-up understanding of digital area, which is a must-have knowledge for human civilization to continue in the world with a diversity of domains. A good example is the NASA and NVIDIA Tech of US, which are the primary domain of digitalization in US. As for NASA, mankind requires splendid knowledge of spaceflight, which is about space industries that are aiming for a better future of mankind. The digitalization of the data of space exploration is always a primary objective for NASA in order to gather the different databases together and construct the model itself together as the foundation method of its theory. The Hubble Space Telescope is one of the greatest inventions done by mankind, and is also one of the best representation of the modern society and the age of digitalization. What's more, NVIDIA is another company which makes on graphics card or drivers displays cards, whom takes advantage of the tendency of digitalization and brings the different standards of graphics card to a new level. In order to make better community relations with the digital domain of US, the new RTX graphic card just go on the electrical market and aims to the high-end technology industries around the globe. The card is aiming for better programming in a diversity of electronic business, which costs huge amount of money to do so. Convergence, globalization, and digitalization is always the primary goal of NVIDIA because these three elements are the key for the company to face the globe and create better and wider market to users in different domains. A negative example is the AMD company, which is regarded as the great opponent with NVIDIA in the graphic card war. The products of AMD is also aiming to global users, but one of its natural weaknesses is that it is lack of the spirit of convergence. The AMD company always tries their best to make better graphic card with their own technology, but ignored other technology which might help them with the project. NVIDIA did what AMD didn't achieve, the convergence of other companies and the partnerships with several electronic tycoons. Achieved the goal of the brand new RTX, which is one of the greatest graphic card in the world, owing to the power of globalization, convergence, and digitalization as one principal part of their marketing element. In conclusion, globalization, digitalization, and convergence are important elements in the modern society. The power of these factors are unstoppable in the future development of the society of mankind. Thanks for reading.